What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The World According to Briggs, a channel that helps you find a new place to live. Actually, most of the time we're letting you know about places you shouldn't live. But hey, that's what people want to see, I guess. Today we're looking at 10 of the best towns to live in the United States for 2021. That's easy, right? We just look at the wealthiest towns and bam, there's your list. Yeah, we're not doing that. We will be looking at places that are safe, have good schools, and are affordable. Most importantly, affordable. Wealthy neighborhoods are nice and all, but 99% of us won't be living there anytime soon until YouTube starts paying us about $1,000 an hour to watch videos or something like that. Today's list is about 10 of the best affordable towns to move to for 2021. In other words, towns that are looking good, that are in good shape for the, post-pandemic days. This is another list that I could, add 30 or 40 towns on it, but we only do 10 here, so that's what we're going with. If you think your town should be on this list, let us know in the comment section below. I'm sure we're going to do another one of these. And if you want your town to be on the next list, take a horizontal picture or video and send it to world2briggs@gmail.com. That's the number 2, not the word. All right, let's see what we found. Number 10, Bentonville, Arkansas. At number 10, we have the exciting town of Bentonville, Arkansas. Actually, it's not that exciting, and I think that's half the appeal. Bentonville is right outside of Rogers, Arkansas, with about 43,000 residents. It's in that northwest corner of the state and far removed from all the other things Arkansas is known for: poverty, moonshine, and relations between cousins. Here's the stats. The cost of living is 8% lower than the national average in Bentonville. Crime is 39% lower, and homes go for around $200,000. Rent is 12% lower than the national average. The average 2-bedroom apartment is going to be about $850. That's the average. Don't quote me something you found on Craigslist and tell me I'm wrong. The poverty level in Bentonville is 48% lower than the national average. That is phenomenal for Arkansas. If you know anything about Arkansas, they're known for their poverty, not this part of Arkansas. Number 9, Edmond, Oklahoma. Edmond is a city in Oklahoma, and it's part of the Oklahoma City metro area. Even though it is in the Sooner State, it's a nice place to live. Edmond is ranked as the best place to live in Oklahoma by several different websites. Over 88,000 residents probably already know this. They have a lot of really nice residential areas with well-maintained yards. Here's a little pro tip for you. If you're looking for a new place to live, if most of the streets in a neighborhood have maybe 1 or 2 overgrown places, it's a nice town. If half look like they haven't seen a lawnmower since the Clinton administration, look for someplace else to live. The cost of living is 5% lower than the national average, which is amazing, because if a place is nice, it normally costs a bunch to live there. Not Edmond. Crime is 36% lower, and a decent home will run you about $225,000. That's not bad. This is another great thing. The poverty rate in Edmond is 34% lower than the national average. Edmond is a really nice place to live. Number 8, Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Bethel Park was originally settled around 1800 and was first established as Bethel Township in 1886. Bethel Park was incorporated as a borough on March 17, 1949, and it's pretty much a suburb of Pittsburgh, best way to explain it. It's also the birthplace of Barbara Feldon from Get Smart. Yeah, Agent 99, loved her. Anyway, this is one of the better places to live in the Pittsburgh metro area. That's my opinion. I've been here before. It's a nice town with about 32,000 residents. Their cost of living is 2% lower than the national average, and crime is about 65% lower than the national average. Those are good numbers, especially when you hear this next part. A decent home here will go for around $175,000. That's it. They've got good stats and cheap homes. What could go wrong? The median household income in Bethel Park is 30% higher than the national average, so people are getting paid pretty good here too. And their poverty is 67% lower than the national average. Bethel Park's a solid choice if you're looking for a place to move in this part of Pennsylvania. Number 7, Pere, Wisconsin. Pere is a small suburb of Green Bay, and it sits on both sides of the Fox River. If you've watched this channel long enough, you know I'm a big fan of Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state with great stats in almost every single category. Milwaukee has a few parts that are kind of scary, but 90% of the state is a great place to live. Pere's a perfect example of that. If you can get past those Green Bay winters, this is a good option for relocating. They do have some cold up here. That's the worst part about living in this part of Wisconsin, or pretty much almost all of Wisconsin. It can get cold. like make an Arizona transplant cry type cold. Yeah, that cold. They've got 24,000 residents in De Pere, and I promise you 95% never want to leave. It's that type of a place. The cost of living is 8% lower than the national average. Crime is 67% lower than the national average. Now, you can get a decent house here for about $170,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. The housing's 9% lower than the national average. The graduation rate in De Pere is 95%. This is a great place to move a family to. Number 6, Baldwin, Missouri. Are you sitting down? I hope you're ready for this. There's a place in St. Louis that is a really nice place to live, and it's called Baldwin. No D, just Baldwin, not like Alec Baldwin. Drop the D, Baldwin. Baldwin is a suburb west of downtown St. Louis, and it's not some wealthy suburb. It's a nice middle-class town on the outskirts of a really crappy city. Baldwin was ranked as the second best small city in Missouri by Area Vibes. That's a plus. It was established as a town in 1837. The community was named after John Ball, who settled the town on the current site in 1804. The cost of living in Baldwin is 3% higher than the national average, and that's not much. But their crime rate is 67% lower than the national average, and you can get a solid house for about $225,000. That's it. The high school graduation rate is 96%, and their test scores are 47% higher than the U.S. average. This is a really nice place to live if you have to live near St. Louis. Number 5, Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Right around the bend and across the Ohio River from Cincinnati, you have Fort Thomas. Fort Thomas has some pretty interesting history, maybe. Evidence suggests that somewhere around 1750, prior to Europeans settling in the area, a large battle occurred between a band of Cherokee Native Americans and Miami and Shawnee Native Americans in what is now the city of Fort Thomas. As many as 600 graves of slain warriors have been unearthed by archaeologists there, and this has been going on for years. They figured this was a major battleground for the Native Americans. It's still not uncommon to find arrowheads and other artifacts from the past while gardening or hiking in the woods, or even exploring the stream beds throughout the city. Yeah, they still find them to this day. But these days, Fort Thomas is a great place to live. And the stats will prove that. The crime here is 82% lower than the national average. Their cost of living is even with the national average. The median home price is 9% lower, and get a house here for about $220,000. That's in decent shape. And their school test scores are 54% higher than the U.S. average. This is a solid place to live for anyone, especially history buffs that are looking for arrowheads and stream beds and parks, stuff like that. Number 4, Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. Okay, now we're getting into some of the towns that might be a little above the national average for cost of living, but everything else is outstanding. Grosse Pointe Woods is a perfect example. It's right up the Detroit River from Detroit on Lake St. Clair, and it's a world away from what is Detroit. It's a nice place. The city was originally incorporated as the village of Lockmore in 1927. This was the last unincorporated portion of what they called Grosse Pointe Township. Everything in this area is Grosse Pointe. Grosse Pointe Woods, Park, Farm, and then there's an area called Grosse Pointe. This is a great place to live, even though the cost of living is a little bit higher than the national average. It's only 7% higher than the national average. That's not bad. But their crime is 44% lower than the national average, and you can get a decent home here for as low as $200,000. That's a decent home, livable home for $200,000. Now they go all the way up to, I've seen $650,000 homes, but you can get a nice one anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000. Their schools are outstanding with a 97% graduation rate, which means it's 17% higher than the national average, and the school test scores are 41% higher than the national average. This is a great place to raise a family. Sure, you got Detroit down the road, but Detroit is getting better. They got a long way to go, but they're getting better. Number 3, Ankeny, Iowa. Ankeny, Iowa is a great place for families, or anyone really. First things first, it's in Iowa, so it might be a little boring if you're moving here from someplace like Chicago or LA. But sometimes boring is good. Not everyone wants to go clubbing every week, or at all. Ankeny is a suburb of Des Moines with about 45,000 residents and some great stats. This place has phenomenal stats. The cost of living is 5% lower than the national average. Their crime is 42% lower than the national average. They have condos and townhomes everywhere here. A lot of them are brand new. You can get those anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000. You could still find homes for around $220,000. Some of the nicer ones are only like $300,000. This place is a cheap place to live all around. High school graduation rate is 96%, and the school test scores are 82% higher than the national average. Like I said, a great place to raise a family. And there's farms everywhere, so if you're like a cow tipping enthusiast, you're in luck. Number 2, Papillion, Nebraska. Papillion, yeah, that's its name. Papillion is known as the Barcelona of Middle America. I'm totally kidding. Nobody's ever said that. I'm pretty confident nobody's ever even thought that. Papillion is, it's kind of a dull place. It's a suburb of Omaha, Nebraska with about 19,000 residents. And the most exciting thing here is one of those ride-sharing bike rental things was installed not too long ago. Yeah, but like I was saying, sometimes boring is good. And Papillion's got a lot of good. They also got really good stats. In Papillion, the cost of living is 7% lower than the national average. The crime is 25% lower, which is solid. $167,000 is the median home value, which is 9% lower than the national average. And their school test scores are 76% higher than the national average. That's outstanding. Their graduation rate's 95%. This is a great place to buy a home and just live your life, especially if you could work remotely. This is a great place to do that. Cheap houses, cheap cost of living, good place to live. And number 1, Hilliard, Ohio. If you're going to live in Ohio, you're going to want to live in Columbus. And one of the best places to live in Columbus, statistically speaking, is Hilliard. In 1852, John Reed Hilliard bought 10 acres, and now it's a town that they named after him. Here's a fun fact about Hilliard. It has the only flagpole from the World Trade Center that's not in a museum. The flagpole is located in front of the fire department on Northwest Parkway. Besides having really cool flagpoles, Hilliard has 33,000 residents that really like their hometown. I know this because I looked them up on Yelp. Here's Hilliard's stats. Hilliard's cost of living is only 1% higher than the national average. Their crime rate is 74% lower than the national average. The median home value is $213,000. They have like duplexes and condos and stuff. They're about $130,000. Now, if you really want to be a big spender, you could find homes here that are over $400,000, but the really nice ones are going to be somewhere in the $300,000 range. Hilliard's a nice place to live. That's why they're number 1 on this list. All right, that's today's list. I want to do some more of these just like this. People ask me all the time about the best places to live in the United States. That is a question I get a lot, and a lot lately. With, the economy, how it's kind of in a weird position right now and things might be changing. A lot of people are going to be looking for really nice places to live that aren't terribly expensive. So I'll make a series of these videos. If there's any that you think I should check out, I'd love to hear about them. Let me know in the comment section below, or like I said before, send me a picture of it, email me. Anyway, don't forget all the links below. Subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a big thumbs up. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.